Hello and welcome to our module on evening routines. Now, I'm sure that you've heard that many morning routine examples. If you look at all the top CEOs, the leaders of the FANGs as they're called, the companies, they're always waxing lyrical about their morning routines. I'm also going to teach you about morning routine, but when I think about morning routine, I always think about what's happened the night before, and so I start that way. I start with an evening routine first of all, and that's what we're going to talk about in this module, our evening routines. Have you ever really thought about your evening routine? Often when I first introduced this subject, people sort of say, oh God, no, I've never really done that before. It's just sort of all becomes a blur. I get the kids home, or I get home from work, we sort of piece together some food, we might then, have a bit of a chit chat and then collapse to bed exhausted and start it all over again the next day. So what I want to say to you is that if you want your days to go really well, it does start with what happened the night before. I'll talk first of all about the importance of sleep, and there are many books now emerging on this subject. If you look at Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker, I think you don't need to read that, but it's extremely enlightening. That if the human body doesn't get sufficient deep sleep, basically it will cause death. It is so critical to get adequate sleep. Now, we don't know how much precisely is adequate, but for most people it's 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and a proportion of that needs to be deep sleep, because during deep sleep we're totally unconscious, and all of the cleansing, they don't know exactly what happens during this deep sleep, but everything gets reset, and that is absolutely critical for us to sort of be able to maintain longevity and to maintain life. So sleep is important, and then it goes into REM sleep, and then it goes into light sleep, and then we wake up. And if you want to monitor your sleep, obviously you can use the health app and an Apple Watch, but you may notice that I always use this Aura ring here. I'm not part of their sales force, but I do always advocate it to my clients, because it will tell you, it's very unobtrusive, and it will tell you exactly how your sleep's gone, and it will give you a sleep score. But I did graduate to this from quite some, at the beginning I was using an app called Sleep Cycle. You can download that and just put it on your phone beside you when you're asleep, and it will tell you how you're doing with your sleep. It will actually bizarrely record you if you're snoring and things like that as well. So it was a really great introduction to how I sleep when I first used Sleep Cycle. But progressing to the Aura ring has been a really good thing for me. But so sleep is so critical. So how do we maximize the amount of sleep that we get? How do we make our sleep efficient so that we don't have to be in bed for 10 hours to get 7 hours? You really want to get to a point where you get to bed, you're falling asleep pretty quickly, you're staying asleep, a good portion of it is deep sleep, and then you can wake up refreshed, you can jump out of bed, and you can start your day and you don't struggle. The good news is that you can get to that point, you can get to the point. I personally always wake up before my alarm, I'm always up before 5 a.m, and it really isn't a struggle, unless I don't, do my evening routine. So sleep is absolutely critical, and it prepares you for your day ahead. So evening routine, what sort of things am I talking about here? Well, firstly, decide when your evening routine is going to start. So you may be someone that works very late. I have a number of clients, who are in things like finance and in law, and they've got international colleagues and clients, and so they really have to work quite late hours. But whenever, just decide when this routine is going to start and start sticking to it. So let's say, for argument's sake, that your evening routine is going to start at 7 or 8 o'clock. So what are you going to do then? Well, firstly, I would say that's the time when you start to shut down anything to do with your work life. You shut down your laptops, you shut down any of your emails or apps that are going to distract you from your phone, and you decide that that's your cut-off point for that sort of interaction. You might need to keep your WhatsApps on if loved ones or whatever, that's fine, but decide a time when you're going to stop looking at your emails in particular. If you can, decide a time when you're going to stop looking at social media as well, because the whole temptation when you open up something like TikTok or Instagram to start scrolling, I mean, it's real. It's a real temptation. It is very addictive. I know, I've done it myself. But deciding when you're going to stop is a really good step. After that, now you've closed that down, what are you going to do with the rest of your evening? I'd really advocate that you have some sort of form of shower or bath. If you like baths, then great. But something where it's going to wash off the day. So having a shower to wash off the day, having a bath to wash off the day, even if you still got little children running around or whatever, still just do that thing and put on something that you're going to go and wear to bed. Some sort of relaxing clothing, whatever. So washing off the day, I think, is a great step. And then putting whatever oils, creams, things that you enjoy putting on before you go to bed, doing that as well. Next is to have some sort of form of gratitude. At the end of the day, it's we could have had a really, really difficult day, but still it's worth looking for the good in the day. And the reason for this is that then you can go to bed actually thinking about positive things rather than worrying about things that maybe have upset you in the day. So just finding some good, whether it is a little thing that you had a lovely interaction with a colleague, or whether it was wonderful to be with your children, or whether you just went and had a nice lunch, or you had a great workout, or you made some progress with your diet, or whatever it is, just some things that you're grateful. And try, if you can, to give yourself a target of listing 10. And it might be things like the weather was nice, and it might be I got home quicker than usual today, or my bed's really comfy, or whatever it is. But try and put sort of 10 points for gratitude. So you've got your gratitude, you're relaxed. I'm assuming you would have had your food, by the way, so I would really advocate that you're trying to have a cut-off time for your last time that you eat as well. And then finally, look at the area where you're sleeping. Is it conducive to relaxing sleep? So is your temperature in your bedroom, what's it like? Is it too warm? Because if it's too warm, you're just not going to fall asleep. So try and have it on the cool side. What's your bedding like? Is it bedding that you've had for ages, that maybe you could sort of zhuzh it up a little bit? Do you need to have a new mattress topper? Do you need new pillows? The pillows with the silk covers now are really lovely on the face and the hair. So is there, do you want to do a refresh of your bedding, for example? Is it cluttered in your bedroom? Unclutter it, because again, that's just that feng shui it's just not going to be comfortable and conducive to relax and sleep if there's clutter there. Is it dark? As dark as possible. And if there are cracks, through the curtains or whatever, and you're getting light in, consider having a really big sleep mask just to fall asleep. Other things, do you grind your teeth? Do you snore? Do you things like that? Have that checked out. I had someone who really struggled with that inability to sleep, and they there is a term for it, but they would suddenly wake themselves up because they couldn't breathe. But they got it checked out with their doctor, and that combined with a much healthier way of living, eating, training, and they managed to eradicate that issue. So do you grind your teeth? Go to the dentist and get a guard. Anything like that is going to interrupt your sleep. So start systematically improving all of the things around your sleep. Another thing to talk about is if you really feel like you still want to watch some late night TV, or if you feel like you have to look at your screen for something, consider some blue light blocking glasses. You can get them from Amazon. They're sort of orange glasses, not particularly attractive, but put those on from a couple of hours before you want to go to sleep. And then maybe consider reading something for the last sort of 10-15 minutes. You've done your gratitude, your bed is conducive to sleep, your bedroom is conducive to sleep. Consider reading something that is not going to be stimulating your mind too much. So it may be a personal development book. It may be, a manifestation, a law of attraction, a nice fictional story, something which is going to keep you calm. Just read that for 10-15 minutes. What I find is by having Audible on, so downloading a book and having that running for 10 minutes, it's enough to sort of, so you put it on a timer and the next thing, you're sound asleep. Some people, they complain that their partner wants to go to bed later than them, has a different type of bedtime routine. I mean, I really would try and take that quite seriously, because we're talking for life here. So be talking to your partner, sharing with them your goals, your fitness goals, the benefits of sleeping, how you want to be at the beginning of the next day, and seeing if you can get them on board with you to have a sort of to trial a new evening routine, because you're with your partner because you have joined life goals, presumably. And those joint life goals include longevity, I'm presuming. So I know it's not easy, this stuff, and especially if you've got young children waking you up at night and all of that. But all you can do is try. All you can do is make little improvements. So I would really try to get your partner on board with this as well, and maybe compromise in little areas to get to a point where you can improve your sleep as much as you can. That's just an example of a few things that you can do for evening routine. But in a nutshell, just think about it. Think about doing the same things in a routine, habit stacking, this, then this, then this, then this, this, then this, before you go to bed, and your body will start to wind down. And if you start measuring as well how your sleep's going by using the Sleep Cycle app, or if you want to invest and get an Aura Ring by watching that, you'll start to see the stats improving. And once you see that, then hopefully you'll want to do more of it. So that is a summary for you for evening routine.